What a rush!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hot Take Podcast. This is the first episode. We are three dudes who absolutely love wrestling. My name is HammerTime83. I am here with my friend of 20 plus years, Odysseus.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
And my buddy Tats, who I've been friends with for, I'd say, going on 2+ years now.
That sounds about right. How's everybody doing?
And basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all kinds of things on this podcast. We're going to talk about, like a current event that you're loving, something that a storyline going on, or something nostalgic that you have a feel for, something that, makes you think back, oh my God, that was awesome. Like, Mick Foley falling off the Hell in the Cell or something like that. And then basically an idea that someone is happening, that something can happen. It's going to either be a storyline, or it's going to be, like an idea for a match, or just something that hasn't been done or could be done better. So a little bit about me. I have been a wrestling fan for 20 plus years. My very first match I ever went to was Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, the Mega Powers Explode, or Implode, whatever you want to call it. I still cannot stand Hulk Hogan. Macho Man is amazing. I'm sure that will come up a lot about how I think Hulk Hogan is the ultimate POS. So he's a backstage politician, but we'll get into that later. Tats, what was your first event?
Oh, it would have been a house show back in the early 90s. I don't exactly remember when I actually started watching on TV, but I do know it was the 90s. It was like, what was the 90s era called again?
The Attitude.
Attitude era. That's when I started. Rock, Stone Cold, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Too Cool. So it was that generation. And at the time, I was that kid that believed everything was real.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Don't cry.
All right. And Odysseus, what about you? What was your first show?
Well, I'm just a slight bit older than you guys, but I don't look it. But anyway, my first show was like when mid 80s. My mother took me to see War Games, the original War Games, with the Road Warriors, Dusty, Nikita, and Magnum versus the original Four Horsemen and James J. Dillon. So that was one of my first real takes of wrestling. I loved it. You'll notice that I'm a big NWA fan from back in the past. I do watch WWE because, that's what we got. But, we'll get into that later.
Yep. So speaking of getting into stuff later, so we have the way we're doing this podcast is we want to keep it fresh. So it's going to be randomly generated who comes up with what topics. So this week we used an app to decide, and Odysseus will be doing something current. So we're going to go ahead and let him discuss a current topic, a current storyline, something that is, going on in the wrestling world and that he wants to talk about. So go ahead, let us know.
All right. So what I'm going to talk about is basically currently I'm going to talk about the big elephant in the room in the wrestling world. We're going to talk about CM Punk and all the issues and everything's going on in the AEW. So I will tell you, at one point in my life, I was a big CM Punk fan. I was a fan of his when he did the pipe bomb. I thought they got me. That was one work that got me because I thought it was real. And then when he came back, and then, I started to lose a little bit of faith in him. But then, he left, and then, his ego got bigger than everything, and then he came back to AEW. I was a little bit excited. I wanted to see what he was going to do, but then, he had the altercation with the Elite, and then he got hurt, left, came back with the title. Doing a current run that basically you took from WWE because you brought a title belt back that you said you never lost, and so you're going around calling yourself the real world champion, just like you did when you came back to WWE with your title belt. And I forgot who had it at the time, but you had a big feud, and then
That was Cena.
Cena, and then Alberto. Yeah, and then Alberto cashed in and took it from him. So after they merged them. But the big thing is I think I defended this man for years, but his actions of the last year or so, and then watching AEW events, and then watching him doing the post conferences, press conferences, this dude is a jerk. I mean, I don't know what happened backstage. I don't blame him entirely, but his attitude really brought on a lot of things that's happened to him that led to him getting fired. Because my take is that I read stuff where he calls himself the ringleader in the back. Back when I watched wrestling, back in the days of Hammer Time, your favorite person, the Undertaker.
Yes.
You don't hear about these backstage politics. They took care of it as wrestlers. They had, you might heard stories how they had the trial and the jury and stuff, and the Undertaker was basically the judge. But they took care of stuff like that. Stuff like that happened with CM Punk and the Jack Perry situation. It shouldn't have got to this point where, someone even made a point, Vince never would have got involved and stuff like that. He let the wrestlers take care of it. But CM Punk is such an egomaniac in my eyes.
I think that the difference then versus now is the two times that with CM Punk, it has been assault, beyond assault, right? It's not I'm going to take a crap in your bag or stuff that people used to do back in the day. I mean, it's borderline criminal offenses now.
Well, I'm
going to say this. Back in the day, where we're talking two different things. You had wrestler's court, which is where someone was not following the code of ethics, they would handle it backstage. Now, like Hammer just said, this is full-on assault, and if someone like Samoa Joe has to step in to stop something, I'd say that's pretty serious.
Yeah,
I agree. But I also have to, in my eyes, CM Punk's a jerk, but also gotta blame Tony Khan. Tony Khan, to me, comes off of, you just had one of the largest pay-per-views of all time. And to get, it was pretty much overshadowed by this incident.
Yep.
But my thing, Tony Khan, to me, comes off as a rich kid just playing with his toys.
I totally agree with that.
100% agree with you, bud.
He doesn't know what he's doing with them, and so he let the inmates run the asylum. And then when you bring this egomaniac back, thinking he gets his own show, he gets to dictate who comes on that show. I'm like, dude.
But how much is that of Tony Khan versus that's the network? Because even the network said they wanted CM Punk to spearhead the show because of his popularity.
But here's the thing, and I had to tell you got two other shows. He does not make the show. To me, he has not produced what everybody thought he was going to produce.
Yeah, I think he's more of an advisor these days.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Even his wrestling, I watch him wrestle and I'm like, wow, this is boring. I'm just trying to be, you're messing up moves. I mean, between him and Jeff Hardy, oh my God.
Well, hang on. Let's not tarnish my pride and joy, Jeff Hardy. Let's keep him away from CM Punk, please.
Look, once again, that's another topic.
Look.
That's for another day.
I was about to say that's Victory Road. That's back in the day.
I'm gonna make one statement right now. The pipe bomb was the worst thing to ever happen to CM Punk.
Do you think the pipe bomb was scripted?
Yes.
Yes, I kind of found
100%.
out that it was.
Yeah,
because if it wasn't, you're telling me Vince McMahon, who gets mad when people sneeze in front of him, would just let that go on? No way.
Yeah.
No, I come to learn afterwards that it was very much scripted.
I don't think it was completely scripted, I think they
let
gave him a
know.
little leadway, but I
Yeah.
definitely feel like they're like, okay, these are your talking points.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing with Paul Heyman when he was like going after Vince with ECW.
Oh yeah,
But the thing with CM Punk is,
excuse
to
me.
me, I just feel like he has overstepped his bounds, like you said, morally, physically, legally. And my thing is, for him to be that way, he's not the draw that everybody thought he was. Okay, you were a draw in Chicago. That's Chicago. But what about the rest of the world? You went to All In. You were the first match. Joe made you look good. You didn't headline the event. Your match was announced like 2 weeks before the event. You wouldn't even know the event until then. So
Actually,
Hang
I
on,
just feel like
isn't it true? No one even picked him up from the airport, and he had to find his
that's
own
what
way
I
to.
read.
yes, that's true.
Like that should tell you that AEW does not like put faith in you if they're not even sending a car to pick you up.
Well, what I read from the dirt sheets, and if you can't see my quotation marks there, they said the Bucks had something to do with that, messing with them and stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't like them either. But the Elite, I have no love for them. AEW has so much talent. Oh my God! I watched the match between. Just to say this, they have a main event match between Darby Allin and Nick Wayne last night.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that was awesome!
Yeah, Darby Allin always
Dude,
puts on good matches.
He really does. I hope his lower back is doing okay though.
Yeah.
oh my God, he took a tumble. But
Mhm.
my thing is, and I've had an argument with my friend Jose, and hopefully we can get him in on one day. That he hates CM Punk with a passion, and he thinks that if Tony Khan wouldn't have fired him, CM Punk would have pretty much started ruining AEW.
100%.
Yep.
But I feel like the thing is, like I said, Tony playing with his toys. You need someone in there like Vince brought a Triple H in there to put some of these people in their places. You have a
You
lot of
know who that could be right now?
who's that?
Dustin Rhodes.
Okay, I could see that.
So I think I'm gonna go a different route. I agree with what you're saying with Dustin Rhodes, but you know who I think would be, and it's
Who?
because of what he was in the Wyatt family. Rowan.
No.
Rowan.
No.
So Rowan.
I don't know, man.
I'll
So-
have to disagree with you on that.
I don't want
Yeah.
Rowan on screen. I want him. I want his backstage presence. Because supposedly when he was in NXT and when he was in Florida, what was it FBW? When
Yeah, I think so.
whenever he spoke, people listened. He was like, not like saying the Undertaker-esque, but
Yeah.
it was like he's a really big, intimidating guy. The dude can actually fight like Lesnar, and
Yeah.
he's not afraid of anybody. And I think
Yeah.
that's what you need is that presence, right? Like that. If I say something wrong, I'm gonna get my face smashed in.
Yeah, They have some talent in there. I don't know what they're doing with Paul Wright or Mark Henry, but I think those two guys would somewhat make a good locker room leader. But then again, what is their wrestling knowledge? Because with those two, there were more gimmicks than anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I say Dustin.
Yeah.
Or even a second one would be Samoa Joe. The man's been around.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
I didn't even
And
think
I'll
about
tell you
Joe.
right
Yeah,
now, if Samoa Joe tell me to do something, I'ma fucking do it.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It should be Joe. I agree.
Yeah,
But the problem
that would be
is
the best
Joe's
choice.
gonna wrestle for 2 months and then he'll be on the shelf for a year and a half.
Sure.
Oh wow.
You can't deny that, man. Tell me the last time Joe actually wrestled longer than a year.
That's true.
Well,
And
the
it's
thing
not his
was-
fault. He has concussions and whatnot, but still.
But I will say one thing about Joe. Joe got screwed over in NXT.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Joe got screwed over.
Let me
Because
make
Joe
this,
came in.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, Joe came in there and pretty much set Karrion Kross in his place, which was their so-called big heel, and Joe brought him down to earth. And then after that, after Joe took the title, all of a sudden Joe got mysteriously sick and had to give it up. and that was the end of Joe.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Just going back to CM Punk, I'm gonna say this. His skill level and his performance level greatly, and I mean greatly, decreased once he tried to do MMA.
Yes, I agree.
I think I agree with that, but I think that's also like, isn't CM Punk like in his upper 40s?
Sure, but again, you go to MMA, you should be at like the peak more than what you should for wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at his old GTS to his current GTS, it is god awful.
Oh yeah, it is.
He can't even lift anybody hardly.
Yeah.
Hasn't he had shoulder surgery a couple times?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, like he used to sell it so well.
You know what? Zoe Starks does a better version of that than he does.
Look, the last time Punk did a good GTS was when he broke Cena's nose.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So honestly, that's my take on CM Punk. I mean, to me, he went from a diamond to just being a bunch of garbage. And you know what? And the sad thing to say, and you can agree with it, everybody knows he's not going back to WWE. But hey,
you think he is, Tats?
I don't think. But you know what? To sell tickets for Survivor Series, yeah, let the rumors fly. Because it's going to be in Chicago. Hey, that means you're going to sell more tickets. Do I see him there? I don't. But do I see him possibly? I don't see him going to New Japan because New Japan has a relationship with AEW. The only place I think CM Punk would go to have his voice heard would probably be Impact.
Yeah.
I could see that. Because then that could be a schedule where it's like a very relaxed schedule. Yeah,
and then he's just there. I mean, they'll make money because of CM Punk. You know, like Eric Bischoff always said, controversy creates cash. And so, after they hear what they got to say, then they'll fall back into, he'll try to make that the biggest company in the world. They'll probably start doing shows on Monday night. And I'm like, all right, y'all need to back up. I've seen your shows for like 5 minutes in the last 3 years. I almost vomited and threw up. And I'm just like, what is this?
As long as they don't get rid of the ring again.
Right.
That was the best part.
Oh, I hate it. It needs to say 6 sides, man.
It does.
Yes.
It does. That was what made it unique.
Well, you know who ruined that? Hogan ruined that.
Yeah. Imagine that.
When Dixie brought in Hulk Hogan, that ruined it. I didn't mind Bischoff, but when you brought Hogan in and he started bringing the Nasty Boys and Jim Duggan and all this, I'm like, dude, just ruined the whole thing.
So this is a story for another podcast, but the only thing I will say about Eric Bischoff, the last good idea Eric Bischoff had was the fucking Elimination Chamber in 2009 or 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Bischoff got too big for his own britches.
Yeah.
Bischoff screwed
100%.
up when he gave away. Yeah, when he gave away the ending for Mick Foley's match, that was the downfall. That started it all. And I was like, wow.
I thought that was shitty, but I thought it was funny at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. But what were you saying, Tats? What do you think's gonna happen with Punk?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think he's gonna come back. I think he'll do like a 6-month stint, and he'll be gone and fade into obscurity. There's no way he doesn't attempt to come back to WWE.
Who do you think he would feud with, though?
LA Knight.
Oh, let's go! I'd get on board with that. As long as he puts Knight over, I would be okay with that.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I don't see that happening.
Exactly. This is just my fantasy. Punk's not going to put anybody over at his age. We would if it happened. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the infamous Michaels Hulk Hogan SummerSlam match.
Oh Lord! Oh, that was classic. Yep. The cell of all cells.
The octopus.
You can't see me, but I'm literally grinning from ear to ear right now.
Dude, that was one of them. That's exactly what would happen, and that's what's going to happen if CM Punk comes back. I guarantee it.
CM Punk comes back. You know who's going to feud with?
Who?
Seth Rollins.
I can see that too.
Yeah,
because of the Seth, where he said, "Don't come back because you're a cancer." Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
God, that would actually. They actually might They might just go hard.
Yeah.
That would be so much crap talking. It wouldn't. I mean, be even before the match.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be
But,
knocking
yeah.
over monitors on each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so something else I wanted to do is in between each topic, I actually wanted to throw in a little wrestling trivia. I thought this would be
Okay.
kind of cool. So,
All right.
all right. So, can you guys tell me which WWE or WWF wrestler has wrestled the most matches ever?
Ever?
Ever.
Now this is just straight WWF.
This is
WWE.
just WWF WWE.
It's got to be a
Most
jobber.
mem-
Brooklyn. I'm gonna go with Brooklyn Brawler.
Okay, and this
Yeah.
this includes house shows as well.
I would have to say, wow, ever.
And I will give you one last hint. This person, Tats, you can re-guess if you'd like. This person is 300 more than second place.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wow. I'm gonna have to say, wow. Wow. I think Natalia.
I'm gonna stick with the Brooklyn Jobber there.
So you are correct for women. Odysseus, Natalia is number one for women.
Oh,
She has wrestled 1,169 matches.
oh my
I only
god.
know that because she's in the Guinness Book of World Records for it.
However, the Brooklyn Brawler is not even in the top 50.
Wow, I feel bad now.
Number one is Kane with 1,817 matches.
God dang.
Wow.
Yep.
Not have guessed him.
All right.
Nope.
And then the other piece of trivia. What is the only belt that John Cena has never won?
I believe that's the Intercontinental Championship.
Damn.
I will agree with that.
That is, you got it right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Yeah, he needs that to be Grand Slam.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get it either.
Heck no.
So that
Not,
So that
not on
brings
the
me
show
to
for
my
it.
nostalgic topic. So my nostalgic topic is the greatest heel that will ever be. And this is my own personal opinion, but there have been some amazing ones. Don't get me wrong. Ravishing Rick Rude comes to mind. Absolutely phenomenal. Bobby the Brain Heenan, the greatest manager in my opinion of all time.
Yep.
Like, he's the only guy that could take literally anybody and make you hate them without even trying. In my opinion, the greatest villain of all time is the $1 Million Man.
Well, okay.
And the reason I will say it's the $1 Million Man is you look at all the people who wanted to be a $1 Million champion, right? They wanted that belt. It's not a real belt. It's not some distinguished thing. It's something he bought. But how many people tried to beat him for that title? Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan at one point. Just all these people back in the day wanted that title. And then let's face it, Stone Cold was on his way out. If he was never made the ringmaster, he could have been gone a lot sooner, and we would have never gotten Stone Cold Steve Austin if they had not chosen him for that. But the biggest thing for me for Ted DiBiase is because he brought in in my opinion, my all-time favorite wrestler. He was responsible for bringing in The Undertaker, right? He was his mystery partner. Everybody knows that for Survivor Series. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, that sticks out for being a villain, like the ultimate, I got you, don't mess with me, was when he bought the championship from Andre the Giant. It does not get any more supervillain, doesn't get any more like methodical than buying a championship. And if you look at like the credit for it, he is listed as a WWE champion. There's an asterisk, but he has never won it, but he technically has it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on who you think is the excuse me, the greatest villain of all time.
I think by kayfabe standards, yeah, Ted DiBiase, sure, on paper, great. But you know why I don't think he's the best? I never hated him. You know who some people that I've hated the most? Randy Orton, Triple H. Fucking hated those guys back in the day, man. Like, I would get mad that they would win and they would use these dirty tactics and get away with it. Ted DiBiase never made me feel that way.
But you didn't get mad that he would literally pay off, like he would buy goons to go beat up your favorite wrestler?
I mean,
like,
how's that different than the APA?
True. But I think it's like, I don't know, like for the APA, like you knew what they were. Like, you know, they were a bunch of beer swelling, you know, party guys that are going to do whatever. But it was like, you know, there were so many moments at pay-per-views, right? Like who was it? I forget who it was fighting Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental title. This is when he had his streak going. And I think it was Tito Santana. And he had him down. He had him beat. But then all of a sudden, Macho Man walks out to the end of the ramp, gives IRS, you know, $500 and goes, "Hey, go beat him up." And it's like it was like he was everywhere. Like he was in matches that didn't even matter to him. Like he had nothing, but because he was the supervillain, he's just like, okay, well, you know, hey, this women's match that's going on, I don't have a dog in this fight, but here's some money, you know.
Yeah, like I said, on paper, that's great, but I never hated him for doing it. Like, when I think of a heel, I think of someone that I just despise. I see them win the belt. I see them do something. I'm just like, what the heck? Get these guys out of here.
Well, here's my choice. And then once again, you know, this is where my WWE, WCW / NWA / WWF. I want to say my most hated villain of all is from WCW and NWA old days. And I want to say it is Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, I forgot about the Taskmaster. I forgot about him.
And I'm going to tell you why. A couple reasons. Number one, you know, he just like, you know, you never cheered for that dude. No matter what. You never cheered for him in the late 80s, early 90s, and then, you know, his feud, the best thing I saw, his feud with Benoit. Oh my God. That was the most nastiest thing I ever witnessed. Because I know they had a Falls Count Anywhere match, and they fought all in the arena. And I remember one scene where they were fighting in the bathroom.
I felt like that became a every week thing, was fighting in the bathroom in WCW.
Yeah, but he hit his head so hard on that sink in the toilet. I was like, oh my God. I don't know how you could fake that. Those two were really fighting to me. But then, you know, I'm about to say something very, very controversial because I still think he had something to do with the Benoit murders. But that's just me.
Interesting take, dude.
Yeah, that's why it's called Hot Take, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's
I mean, because you got to realize, woman, Nancy Benoit was with Kevin Sullivan.
Yep.
Before she was with Chris Benoit.
He
took
true.
her from him. And they wrote that into a lot of the storylines back in that day.
That is true.
So those two had a legitimate beef against each other. And to this day, a lot of people think, you know, he had something to do with the Benoit murders.
So let me tell you why Kevin Sullivan is not a villain for me. And I'm going to take a page out of Tatz's book here. You know my hatred for Hogan. So I kind of glorified the Dungeon of Doom. I mean,
Well,
it was a really bad faction. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that they were solely trying to put Hogan out, I was like, yes.
And if you ask me, until Bischoff came along, and like I said, we're gonna have a whole conversation about this. Every time, I will agree with you. I never liked Hulk Hogan. I could not stand Hulk Hogan. From WWF, WWE, WCW, NWO, I never liked Hogan. I don't care, even if we came back, Hogan was the most piece of garbage crap in wrestling. Coming from NWA, watching Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes and all them, even Ric Flair, I could relate to them. Hulk Hogan to me was just a cartoon character.
So I didn't watch it back in the day, but Odysseus, I know you did, and you can comment on this. Was Hulk Hogan really just a ripoff of Billy Graham?
Yeah, basically.
They had like the same moveset, right?
Yeah, I didn't go back that far.
Okay.
But, Billy Graham, Superstar, was the 24-inch python. He started that.
I didn't know that. I thought that was more like
If you
Jesse the
go
Body.
back- Well, it was one of them. I think it was Billy Graham.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. No
I mean, Billy Graham and who was the other one? Austin Idol.
Oh, I remember Austin Idol.
Yeah.
What
he
about the
had
Adonis?
Oh gosh.
Oh, good Lord. But a lot of them came before Hogan, and here's the crazy part. I watched Hogan wrestle. I've seen clips of him wrestling in New Japan. Totally different person. I saw him in a match against Muda. And I'm like, this isn't that clown I see.
Where he was
over there.
actually wrestling?
Yes!
Yeah. Same thing with Cena, right? Because Cena, like, before he became, the doctor of thugonomics, when he was the ruthless aggression guy, he was putting on clinics with wrestling.
Yeah. Then he became, the 5 moves of doom?
5 moves of doom.
I mean, Hogan only had 3.
Yeah. But I just feel like, like I said, Hogan
I think that's a
whole-
great pick for a villain, man. Kevin Sullivan is a great pick.
Yeah.
How about here? Let's one up your. Who was the best heel stable ever?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna give you mine.
Okay.
Evolution.
I didn't see them as heels.
Oh, but they were.
They were. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's because like Batista's being a good guy overshadowed their heel presence. It was like I always knew that Batista was going to be the one of the 4 to disband them.
Sure. But the way I see it is Evolution set forth a new standard for heel stables.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm about to show my age because I got to go with the 4
I think you're okay. You're going to go the 4 horsemen.
Come on, no.
Okay. That's not who I thought you were going to say, Odysseus. I thought you were going to say the Fabulous Freebirds.
No, I'm going with the 4 horsemen because I watched. This is where I watched as a little kid. You know how the 4 horsemen formed? The 4 horsemen formed because Dusty, it was Ole Anderson and Arn Anderson. They were attacking Ric Flair. They would come in and start attacking Ric Flair, and then Dusty would come in and save Flair. This turned out to be a big setup because once they went to save Flair in a cage, and Dusty went in there to save them. They locked the cage, and Flair turned on him.
I actually think I remember that.
And that's how the Horsemen formed. It was and Tully. Yeah, I forgot about Tully.
That was at a pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Yeah, they jumped, and that's when they turned on Dusty and broke his leg and formed the 4 Horsemen. Well, he really didn't break his leg because if you watch the documentary with what's his name, Cody Rhodes, he was telling how he would see the cast in the closet, and he was like, "What the crap,"
K-Fab at his greatest.
Yeah, but because I don't know if you realize, and they might have mentioned it in a few, Ole, Arn, and Flair are all cousins. They're related.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Yeah, I knew that Ole and Arn were, but I didn't know that.
Flair's related to him. Flair's their cousin.
I saw a podcast recently that was talking, and it was an interview that talked about Flair. Like, they played an interview from Ole to Flair, and they like legitimately hate each other now.
It did, because you remember they kicked Ole out, and then that's when Barry came in. And then the crazy part, I hate when they do this. When they show the Four Horsemen, they have Barry in there. Those are not the original Four Horsemen.
All right, so we'll keep going on to that before we get.
Yeah, that's another.
No. I was gonna say before we go to my pick for the greatest heel faction, we'll go on to the Four Horsemen. Pick your favorite Four Horsemen of all time, and I can name mine right away.
Arn.
Mine was Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Psycho Sid, Benoit.
Oh God,
that was my favorite. It was very short-lived, but I loved it.
Okay. Like I said, I have to go back to the original. I have to go back with Tully, Arn, Ole, and Flair. Because like back in the day, one of the greatest watching I'm about to date myself again, watching the Rock and Roll Express taking on the Andersons. And then how they would just literally come in and just beat the living crap out of them.
It gets a little foggy with the Expresses because there's been like 9 of them.
I know. And the crazy thing is, the Rock and Roll Express is still wrestling. It's sad, but we won't go into that. The Midnight Express and all them with Jim Cornette, but to me, growing up, I think they started. And the only reason why I choose them because to me everything branched off from there. The Shield, Evolution. To me, everything branched off from the Horsemen. The very first faction, and that's why I say. To me, they're the greatest heel faction because to me, they kind of set the standard.
All right, Tats, what's yours? What's your greatest Four Horsemen incarnation?
Ooh. Oh, boy. If I had to go with 4, Randy Orton, Edge.
Oh, no. I'm talking about like the actual Four Horsemen.
Oh, the actual form? The original.
The original? Okay.
Yeah. I thought you wanted me to make one up. My bad.
No.
I tell you, the worst one was when Sting tried to join him.
Oh yeah, what the heck?
I thought you were gonna say anything with Mongo McMichael. Rest in peace.
He ain't dead yet.
I thought he did pass away.
Nah.
No, he hadn't died
yet.
Oh,
excuse me, everybody. I am so sorry. I literally thought I saw a thing where it said he passed away.
No, he hasn't. I mean, he's in very bad shape, but he hasn't passed away yet.
Okay.
But I will agree with you on that one. Mongo was horrible.
Yeah, I did not know that. All right, so my greatest heel faction of all time, without a doubt, the Hart Foundation.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm sorry, man. Flying Brian Pillman was probably one of my favorite catalysts ever.
Oh, you're talking later version.
Yeah, man, the later version. Back when we had a nugget,
Oh, and you had bitch Bret. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You had Bret Hart.
But I mean, you had a nugget. You had I'm not a nugget. You had a British Bulldog without the braids when he had the buzz cut.
Yes, without his.
But I just loved Brian Pillman, man. Like, Brian Pillman for me was like the epitome of. Okay, so let me go off on something a little here. So you take what and I love him, absolutely love him to death. God rest his soul, Bray Wyatt. If you take how random Bray was with all of his stuff, you can't tell me that wasn't channeling Brian Pillman.
I can see it.
And honestly, like, it's the same thing with, like, I get that vibe from MJF so much that he keeps bringing up I've only got this many days left in AEW. I'm going to be the greatest free agent and all that. He got that shit from Brian Pillman. Because, when Pillman was negotiating his contract and he was You remember how he wanted everybody to think he was the loose cannon and he wasn't signed with everybody? And you remember how hot that got? It's like MJF is doing the same thing.
Well, here's my thing. If that was Brian's persona the whole time, I would agree with you. But I remember Flying Brian. You know, Mr. Cincinnati Bengals wearing tights, Flying Brian.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and so, exactly. So, and I remember the Brian Pillman that was in War Games, and Sid almost broke his neck with that power bomb.
I remember the one that almost got shot by Stone Cold.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was
They literally just did the same angle with Braun Breaker. I don't know if y'all saw NXT.
I did. Dude, it's posted everywhere. The aftermath and all this or that. Blah, 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 blah.
It's like where the feed cut right whenever the stairs hit.
Oh, well, here's the thing. He slipped. He actually did hit him.
Yeah, he actually did hit him. Like, he's actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Brock Lesnar went ham on Randy Orton.
Oof.
Yeah, it was like when what is it? When good things go bad or something. Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't supposed to.
Gotta watch out for them plastic steps.
Yeah. But it caught him in the back of the neck. But then again, I was like, you know what? I got my reserve ticket to Hades, but I was like, well, Vaughn has like a Neanderthal head, so he can take it.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Ain't no holding back here.
Nope. Wow, that is hilarious.
It's honestly great.
I mean, his cranium seems pretty thick, but But yeah, they said the cutaway was purposely done, but in the same token, Braun, they said the stairs slipped out his hand. And actually did make contact with the back of his head and his neck. And I think they said he got cut from that.
Mm.
But they're going to play it for all it is.
Dang.
So.
I did not know that. Did not know that at all.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so now we're going to do the next trivia.
Mm-hmm.
What superstar in WWE, this is also WWE trivia, what superstar has the most ladder match appearances?
That's a tricky one. And I think most would probably go, oh, Jeff Hardy, oh, Matt Hardy. But something tells me, despite them pioneering that stuff, I don't think it's either one of them.
I think, let me think, ladder matches. If you take all types of ladder matches into consideration,
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, because are you considering the Money in the Bank a ladder match?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Chris Jericho.
Wow, that's a good one. I'm going off script here. I'm gonna say Kofi Kingston.
Oh, that's a good pick too.
Tats,
Yeah.
you should have went with your boy.
No.
12 ladder matches for Jeff Hardy is the record.
Hey.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It is 12. I couldn't believe it.
I can see that.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking more. I don't know if this means like televised. I think that's what it actually.
Even televised, I feel like it was more.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I was thinking maybe like house show. I'm sure this does not count house shows.
Probably not, because I got a side trivia question.
Okay.
What was the first ladder match in WWE?
Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon.
Yep.
Nope.
What?
That's what they have us believe? What is it really?
It's Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels
No.
at a non-televised event.
Oh yeah, because they had to test the ladder. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot about that. They had to test the integrity of the ladder.
Yeah, fell for that one.
Damn. Got me.
Yep, same here.
Everybody thinks that.
All right, Tats, you want to lead us into what do you think can be changed? What is your idea? What storyline can be improved on?
I got one.
All right.
We going out. We swinging for the fences on this one.
Okay.
Do either of you two recall a certain pay-per-view in 2001?
What, fastball?
No, specifically in July 22nd, 2001.
It's July. That would be SummerSlam.
No, it's not SummerSlam. It's the one.
SummerSlam.
It's the one before
SummerSlam is in
SummerSlam.
August.
This was a
So-
one-time. This was a one-time pay-per-view back in the day.
Great Balls of Fire?
Nope.
No.
No, that's 2001. Was it a In Your House show?
Nope.
Wow.
And it's not One Night Stand because that's happened more than once.
Yep. This was legitimately a one-off pay-per-view that happened back in the day, July 22nd, 2001.
Was it something Texas?
Nope.
No.
You guys want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Invasion.
Oh yeah, Invasion.
Y'all remember Invasion?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Right? There was
Okay.
there was some star power in that match, right? This is when the companies were kind of merging. Everything was on the line, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, just hear me out. AEW and New Japan have done their Forbidden Door matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Why doesn't AEW versus WWE? Think about it.
Well,
I think with the merger you might get that.
Sure, but just think about it in general. They are
No,
the equivalent to WCW, ECW, AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Why not bring them both in? You could have some banging matches. You could probably break records, break revenue. Just think about that for a second.
The only reason why, I would see Triple H wanting to do it, but I see Vince with his ego. He wouldn't allow it.
Oh, this is after Vince is dead and gone, buddy.
Oh well. Oh yeah. Then let's do it.
All right.
Think about some of the dream matches we could get.
I mean, as crazy as this sounds, I'll start, right? I'll do the first dream match. Jada Cargill, Charlotte Flair.
Yes,
Oh wow.
absolutely.
I can see that.
I
Yep.
got one for you.
All right.
Darby Allin, Finn Balor.
Oh, that would be dope. That would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think here. I would say, I'm trying to think. Wow. Wow. I'm a little stunned
I got another one.
because I'm just trying to see. I'm not trying to pick former WWE stars against current. I'm trying to use some of like the AEW originals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. If that's being said, I would like to see the Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Yeah, there we go.
So I'm gonna go off of that, right? So there was a point where they were signed, but they didn't debut and got released. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with this caveat. I'm gonna say, the Elite,
Okay.
versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, my.
Oh wow.
I got another one. You ready for this one?
Yep.
Orange Cassidy, Seth Rollins.
Oh, that would be great.
I just imagine
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy come just doing the little tap, 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 and Seth be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Seth
Yeah.
would kill him.
Yeah.
Seth would sell it so good.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great.
But I think, but the main thing about this that I want to make is, we don't want things stagnant, right? For the longest time, WWE had no competition, right? Only
Yeah.
in recent years has New Japan, AEW, and other outlets started to rise. I think everybody wins if everything can be incorporated. We got these no compete clauses. We have this. We have that. Blah, blah, blah. Just make money. Just bring it all together.
There's
Not
enough
all the
money to
time,
go.
just every now and then.
Yeah. I got a match for you.
Let's hear it.
All right. Now he does wrestle for AEW. He's not like a stable person there. But my thing would be Gunther versus Will Ospreay.
Oh yes.
Oh, God,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That would be a
I
wild match.
love Will Ospreay. I watched him. He's the one that does the highlights with Ricochet all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yep.
you see the highlight where I think it's either him or Ricochet jumps off the top rope backwards and lands on his feet.
Yeah.
And like it's just crazy. They have some of the best highlights of all time, those two. But I love Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay versus Gunther would be crazy.
I would put.
I'd even say,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Hammer.
I was gonna say I would put Pac up against Ricochet.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I could see that. At this point, I would
Dude,
love to see.
this is awesome. I love this. You were right. This one is fire.
Yeah, how
I'm
about
saying-
how about Swerves? No. I got a good one. How about Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley?
Man, I don't know if the ring can handle that. That's some strong peeps right there.
Yeah.
Or I would love to see Brock Lesnar versus Brian Cage.
Oh, that would be a good one.
All 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, Brock
Yep.
wouldn't last. Brock's
Oh,
gonna get
no.
Brock's gonna get his butt beat. The one thing that got me about Brock Lesnar, and then this is why I love Samoa Joe. If you remember the feud between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe in the WWE, Samoa Joe was the only person to beat Brock Lesnar continuously every week and up until their match. Beat him during the match, and Brock won with one F5. That was it.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe dominated that Joker. And I'm just like, that's when I came up with the term "bitch Brock." 'Cause I'm like, you suck. Samoa Joe owned you.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you had to win the match, though. So,
I think Chris Statlander? I think her versus Rhea Ripley would be good.
yeah.
Hey,
I would love
calm
to
down.
see-
I know you got a thing for mommy.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I would love to see Ruby Soho versus Zoe Stark. I'm sorry, it's not just her last name. I love Zoe Stark. I'm so glad they brought her up to the main roster, and that they decided, finally to break her away from Trish. She had a great match with Shayna Baszler, but she lost, but she lost with dignity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's good. But another topic for discussion is, to me, how WWE is treating women wrestling. Right now, it's a joke.
It's always been a joke. I don't think at any point it's ever been good.
I think at the point
The
when,
Revolution, it was good.
Hang on, I'll take that back. You know what? I'll tell you the peak was when it was just Trish Stratus and Lita. Like, that was the peak.
I think when the Four Horsewomen showed up.
yeah, I'm gonna have to give it that part.
Because Sasha and Bailey was unbelievable.
Oh, God, Bailey.
And then when Becky broke her nose and became the man.
I don't know. I like that.
But Becky lost, and another stopper for this. Becky lost to death. Becky's not the same as she used to be.
No.
But I will say, now here's the crazy part. Just to touch on women's wrestling, which is crazy because you disbanded the NXT Women's title. I haven't seen Alba Fire and what's her name since that, which didn't make no sense to me.
Talking about Gigi Gamora?
No, what's the other crazy English chick? The voodoo chick that was with Alba Fire.
Oh.
They had the NXT titles and they wrestled Ronda and what's her face, and they merged them. And you haven't seen them.
Yeah, I don't.
But the other thing is, they have so much talent. I thought when they were going to do the draft, you could have brought way more women from NXT. NXT has the largest women's roster I've seen, but they don't do nothing with them because now you only got one title.
Yeah.
But they have the largest roster that they could spread out between them, SmackDown, and Raw, and bring some new talent in. because I'm tired. I got tired of seeing Bianca every week. And then just another topic discussed. What has Io done with the title? Nothing.
Who?
She is the biggest bore. Exactly. Io Sky.
Oh, yeah. So okay. So here's the thing. Io Sky can do amazing things, but the
I know.
problem is she has like no charisma. She
But
needs a mouthpiece. She needs like a Paul Heyman.
Well,
Which is what Bailey is trying to do, but if you do that, then you take away from Bailey.
you know who
They've
really
already
needs a
taken a
mouthpiece?
lot from Bailey.
Yeah. You know who really needs a mouthpiece though? Tiffany Stratton. Oh my God, she can wrestle, but she is the worst on the mic.
Yeah.
And either they're going to give the title to Becky or they're just going to make her look good. I'm like, okay, maybe this is not working out. Let's bring Becky in to take the title. Because I saw that match coming, but not this quickly. Not as quick as next week.
And see, this is why I like this conversation. Let's be real. Fucking WWE has been very stale. The fact that they've incorporated one of the most iconic matches and built an entire pay-per-view around it, aka Hell in a Cell, just shows how stagnant their ideas are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell used to be something very, very, very special.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And once you put it into a whole pay-per-view, you killed it. You killed effectively any "oh my God" moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joey Styles there.
But I think it's also like when they started changing the look of the Hell in the Cell, right? Like there was nothing wrong with there was nothing wrong with the barbed wire, or not the barbed wire, the chain link fence.
Nope.
Like leave it the way it was.
Yeah.
Just don't have people climb up to the top and fall through it and get smacked in the face with a chair on the way down.
Well, the thing is, it almost, if you think about it, if you watched it back when Hulk Hogan was, you remember the cages back then, the blue steel ones?
Yep.
Oh God.
That's what it was. But that's what it looks like. It
So,
reminds me of the blue.
Do you know why they stopped using those?
Why?
They weren't safe.
Yeah, I don't remember the wrestler's name, but when someone fell, their leg got jammed and it literally broke their leg.
I was gonna say, you ever look at that thing? I'm pretty sure like twine was holding that shit together. prove me wrong, man. I would have tried to climb out of that. All
right, so I got one more dream match for us.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay.
All right, so Thunder Rosa versus if she was still there, I'm gonna say this is not necessarily WWE, but it goes with the forbidden stuff because I think she's really gonna come back. Sasha.
God dang. I'd watch that.
What's her name? Monet?
Yeah, Monet. I think she's going to come back to WWE. I do.
Oh, 100%.
Well, you see where they kind of erased her?
Yeah. Well, they were saying that she was going to go on Impact, or she had been seen in the Impact Zone or something. And I'm just like, y'all realize they got friends everywhere, right?
Well, because that's where Trinity is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, never say never.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness. I can see, and that's what worries me, like, Tat, when you talk about CM Punk. Never say never.
Exactly. Hey, when it comes down to it, Hammer, what did Ted DiBiase always say?
Everybody's got a price.
You goddamn right.
Yeah, I agree. So I just seeing Hulk Hogan go to WCW, see him come back to WWE. So, like I said, never say never.
Yeah, I think honestly, to follow back on what we've talked about already, I think CM Punk will come back. I think it is going to be abysmal, and I think that I'm not saying it's going to be the death of WWE, but I could see a lot of people. So here's the thing. I saw a statistic, right? So did you know that when Tony Khan came out and told everyone that Punk was fired, they lost 89,000 people.
And that is why that makes me believe WWE will take that 89,000 and put it into their metrics.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how it was spun, how it was reported, what really went down. Some people just don't care, and they want to see him in the ring.
Yeah. I have a controversial topic we can talk about at a later time. So it kind of like goes when Vince bought out WCW
Mm-hmm.
and became the main wrestling industry. Did Vince McMahon inadvertently create indie wrestling
100%.
Oh yeah.
by doing this?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
indie wrestling was around before because it was the territories, but
Yes,
I still feel like
but
it made a comeback then.
because he bought out WCW and a lot of people didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Indie wrestling, that's when it started to flourish. That's when your ROHs came up, and that's when TNA, when Jeff Jarrett created TNA. These people needed somewhere to go, and that's when New Japan started to re-flourish again. So to me, and now look at these people. These are the same people that was created because Vince bought out WCW, bought out the competition, and now these same people are headlining his company.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So,
So, topic for discussion for another day. He inadvertently um, stepped up indie wrestling.
all right.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. So, let's see. To end, we have 2 more trivia questions.
Okay.
Who was the first person to pin Mr. Perfect?
Oh. I know I'm gonna get this one wrong.
This is kind of tricky because does that pin include maybe a submission?
I think it's just pinfall.
Oh, because my answer would have been Bret Hart.
I'm gonna go. Oh, go ahead.
I know the answer, so I'm not guessing.
I know you know the answer. I'm gonna go with, and again, I'm gonna be completely wrong. I'm gonna go Shawn Michaels.
I fucking hate him. It's Hogan.
Oh my
What?
god! No way.
Oh, you know what? Let me guess. A Saturday night main event.
No, it was actually. It does not list it. Does not list
I'm
it.
pretty sure it was probably a Saturday night main event.
Yep, it does not list it, but it was Hogan. All right, so I got an easy one for the very last one.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, wow.
What WWE/WWF superstar has the longest undefeated streak, and how long was it?
Bruno San Martino.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go with. 7 years.
You both are wrong.
Pedro Morales?
You are wrong.
Hulk
Who's that
Hogan.
saying?
It is Andre the Giant. 15
Really?
years.
No.
Andre
I can
was
see
not.
that.
Andre
That's
was
gotta
not
be
beat.
before he was in WWE.
He
or
would
WWF.
go around from territories to territories
Okay.
that were owned by both WWE and WWF. His
So
first
what-
loss ever was Hogan.
Was it? How about to say, was it the Hogan?
It was
three?
Hogan.
Of
Yep,
course it was
WrestleMania
Hogan.
3.
Yup.
Yeah.
Go figure.
So,
Oh, you mean when Andre beat him in like 5 seconds
yeah, because he fell on him. Yeah.
at the beginning of the match?
Shout
Yeah.
out to Pontiac, Michigan on that one. WrestleMania 3, Silverdome, baby.
When I think they were like when that happened, they were like, because apparently from interviews I heard, Andre did what Andre wanted to do. He didn't care, and if he didn't want to get pinned, he didn't get pinned.
That sounds like something
So-
else I know. Hulk Hogan.
Right.
So if he didn't want to pass the torch, he decided, because Hogan even, and he was like, I didn't know Andre was gonna pass the torch tonight. When I tried to slam him, he fell on me. I'm sorry, that referee counted to 3.
Yeah, they said that they did a interview where Hogan said when he slammed Andre, he tore like the muscle completely off his shoulder when he slammed Andre.
Yeah, but you do realize Hogan wasn't the first to slam Andre, right?
No, it was John Studd.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
But
I
it
got
was,
one more bonus, and then we'll wrap up. This is a bonus
Okay.
question since that one was kind of tough. All right, Who was the very first King of the Ring?
Oh, I should know this one. Mark Henry.
No.
Can I answer?
Yes.
The very first King of the Ring, I think, was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Nah, he was the first Royal Rumble winner.
Oh, man.
Don Morocco.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Ah,
Wow.
I don't know
Dondo.
why I was thinking Mark Henry. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of then I was thinking Harley Race.
Yep, I was thinking that too. Maybe Jerry the King Lawler.
I don't know why. Yeah, I was actually thinking Jerry the King before I read it. So, but
Wow.
once again, everybody, we are the Hot Take Podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, my name is HammerTime83. You can check me out on Twitch at HammerTime. Twitch.tv/HammerTime. And then Tats, if you want to do yours.
Yeah, I stream over there too on the old Twitch. It's I got Tats. It's Gots with a Z and Tats with an S.
Ooh. So
I'm just me. I don't have anything.
We still love you.
we do.
I have a lot of knowledge.
So I'm gonna write down what everybody presented so that we cannot do the same things for at least the next two. So we know.
Okay.
So that way there would be completely random as well. And we thank you all for listening and hope you all enjoy. And if you could just, let us know any feedback that you can get.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.